Chicago O'Hare International Airport is one of the coolest airports in the United States. Today, we'll be touring the airport to evaluate its infrastructure, amenities, and all you need to know about Chicago's premier airport. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome everybody to the Chicago O'Hare International Airport tour video. I hope all of you are excited for this today as we really jump into one of the largest airports in the United States here in ORD. So really excited for this. I think this will be my most complete airport video yet, as I have quite a few pictures to take a look at today that I've took, and I'm really excited for this. And again, I hope each and every one of you are as well. So we'll start with the airport layout and then jump into each and every individual facility and kind of all of what we got going here. So Chicago O'Hare International Airport, one of the most efficient and complex airports in the United States, no doubt about it. So as you can see here by the airport layout, it is ginormous. It's like 8 or 9 runways. I won't even waste the time counting. There's several, but as you can tell, huge airport. On the south side there, you got some cargo ops, and then on the north side, you got some maintenance and some more cargo ops on that right side. And you can see the actual terminal facilities themselves. So it's broken down into 4. We have 1, 2, 3, and 5. I don't know what happened to 4. I'm sure somebody knows the backstory. Comment below if you do. But anyway, as you can tell here, it is quite a large operation. We have all kinds of various pads. We have every taxiway in the book. And as you can tell, it is quite an ongoing project. So here's one of my pictures that I took on downwind into Chicago. And you can really see just, again, how complex of an airport it is from just the glance, but we're really going to dive into it today. So really excited for this. Let's just go ahead and get started. So again, we have 4 terminals, Terminal 1, 2, 3, and 5. Terminal 1 houses all of United Airlines' operations, and they are broken down into some various concourses. Concourse C has gates C1 through 32. So as you can tell, quite a few gates going on there. Concourse B has gates B1 through B22, so another awesome amount of gates right there. And then we have Terminal 2, which houses more United. So as you can see, we have gates E1 through E1 through 15, and then we have the F gates. It's technically concourses, I suppose. So Concourse F is gates F1 through 14. So as you can tell, quite a few gates going on there, and that's mainly where you're going to find United Express. I think Air Canada and Alaska park around there too. So quite a nice operation. The G gates houses American, where that starts here for Terminal 3. So you can see we have gates G1, every variant in the book as well, all the way down to G21. So that houses mainly the American CRJ 200s, Piedmont 145s, the SkyWest CRJ 700s. So really cool to see that there. And then we also have the Concourse H, which houses all kinds of American Airlines mainline flights, which is Hotel 1 all the way through Hotel 17. So really cool. Hotel 18 to be more particular. Concourse K, I've been in there several times. That houses gates K1 through K, let's see, it's 20 in this case. And one of my favorite, there's a couple of views at the airport that I just absolutely love. One of them is from this window right here overlooking all these K gates, and we'll take a look at that here in a moment. So it's really cool. And then this map's actually outdated, so apologies, I didn't even realize it until I got it on here. But we have Concourse L, which now has a few gates, a Stinger section. So that's right here. I know you can't really see it very well, but here, I can just go back actually. It's this little piece right here. Sorry, that's a little tougher to see. And then this one, you can kind of see it a little bit better. But anyway, so we have these 10 gates right here. This houses Spirit and American, mainly the regional jet operation. And then we also have another 5 gates here on top as well. So it's pretty cool. And then Terminal 5, this is also another outdated map. Darn it, I should have looked a little bit closer. But anyways, Terminal 5 houses all the international operations, and then Frontier, Southwest, and Delta also park here too. It's the only terminal I've not been to yet, so you're going to see pictures from online, but I have some really good ones to fill in the gaps. So anyway, that's not quite there yet. But anyway, you can see the extension piece. So I think it was 3 or 4 years ago they added on this really cool extension, and they've redone the inside quite a bit as well. So we'll take a look at that in today's video. So anyway, though, it's a complex layout, as you can tell, so definitely plenty going on here to say the least. It's also super exciting that Chicago O'Hare is working on a huge expansion project as well. I definitely refer you to Aviation's video. He did a really good job talking about it, but the concepts and what's coming up here at Chicago O'Hare are super exciting. So here's a rendering of what it could possibly look like. So it's quite an exciting time, as you can tell, and it's definitely going to mean massive growth here for Chicago O'Hare International Airport. So definitely check out that video if you get a chance from AS Aviation. He did a really good job on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And first and foremost, my biggest tip if you're ever flying into Chicago O'Hare, sit on the left side of the aircraft if you can. You're probably going to get really great downtown views if they're landing from the lake in. So as you can tell, this is an awesome view here landing on United ERJ 175. So it's a really great view, especially in summer mornings and evenings when the buildings are front lit. You can tell they're already side lit at this point. This was the earliest flight I could get in on. So, but hey, it worked out, so you can still see the great views. But regardless of any time of the year, even though the sun could be blasting on, it's still a great view. So please sit on the left side if you can. It works out really well. Okay, so I have quite a few pictures from pre-security to go over first. So let's go ahead and look at those. So here's one coming into the airport. You can tell plenty of great signage and wayfinding. So you can see here a sign for Terminal 3 with all the various airlines that it exhibits, which is more than what you would think. So really cool with all those international departures for One World. Chicago here also does have a public transit to it. They have the CTA Blue line for the train. So really cool. I have been able to use it once here, you can see. So it's quite wonderful. So definitely really cool to get the note that right there. It's quite critical. So overall, a really cool piece of the puzzle. Actually, this might be the for the rental car facility. My apologies on that. But anyway, they do have the CTA line I wanted to mention as well. So cool to get to see all that right there. And you can see this is the departure section for Terminal 3 where American is, but now we have Aer Lingus, Iberia, Japan, and British Airways now at 3, so pretty cool to note that. So here's a look of the departures area. It's quite nice. Here's the look looking over to the west, so it's also quite a nice view over here. You also have the glass walkway over there to the trains and all that, so it's quite cool, and it's quite an awesome design. And then over here, we'll see a few more pictures in a moment, but you have a Hilton Hotel right here, and then there's some areas for some other various arrivals and departures and whatnot. This is also downstairs by Terminal 3, and this is where you're going to get your hotel shuttles, so thought it would be important to note this and what it looks like, excuse me. What it looks like. I can't talk. Really cool section here. They do have the old American Airlines logo getting into their check-in area, so I thought it'd be very cool to note that. So if you're ever over here, stay on the lookout for it. It's quite cool. So there it is right there. And don't take any sort of security check lines for ORD. I mean, I've seen it a couple times. I've seen some shorter lines, but this particular day in May, it was just bustling. So I never always check the times on the security wait just in case, because the lines can be super long at times. The design is a little bit dated, so people do flood in because of just how small the area for security is, but definitely always be ready to go because it can be long at times. So here's a good example of that. Here's a great look at the American Airlines check-in area. You can definitely see it's hustling and bustling on this particular day. So really cool to get to note that. And then we get into the terminals. So starting with one, we're going to take a look at United's and what they got going here. So here's a beautiful Boeing 757-300. Just want to throw in at least an airplane picture or two just to keep it kind of fluid. But I have a bunch of Chicago airplane spotting videos on my channel, so definitely check them out if you're interested. And then that takes us into the United sections themselves. There are quite a few unique pieces to the puzzle here for the United gates, including this really cool salute to the aircraft mechanics. So you can see this wall here with a bunch of various names, including Charles Taylor's. So this is really cool. And overall, I think that this is really awesome that they're recognizing this here inside the facility. So that's awesome. And of course, want to recognize it here since I got to see it. And you can also see there's really cool aircraft. This is right before you get inside security. So that was really cool to see over here. I think it's by Terminal 2. And then we have the United Club as well, which I'm also making a video on, so definitely check it out as well. But you'll find this all throughout Terminal 1 and 2 and United's premier operation here for their lounge. So really cool to see this too. Okay, so we really start to jump into the gates. So this is the island terminal for one. This is the sea gates, and you can tell it's a very unique design. You'll definitely recognize it every single time you've seen it. But what I really like about one is it's very spacious. It's a really neat design with the tiled floor on top of this really neat, it's not a train station vibe, but I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this ceiling. So you can see here where we have the angle and then it comes up and over. It's almost like they're trying to make an aircraft fuselage almost with it, which is kind of a unique way to think about it. But as you can tell, it's very unique. Wayfinding's also very distinctive to O'Hare. You're definitely going to notice it, especially when it says terminals 2, 3, and 5 everywhere. You're definitely going to recognize that. So it's a very distinctive layout. I think it's really cool. It's definitely one of the most unique in the United States. You're not going to run into a tiled floor with this type of roof anywhere else. You're not. It's very unique to Chicago, which is really cool. So you can see how busy and hustling and bustling it was. This is a shot from, I believe, 2022. So yeah, looking quite nice here. And again, that's a very unique design there on top and all of United's advertising, all that. So again, very unique and distinctive wayfinding, and it's one of my favorite facilities in the United States just because of how unique it is. But you can also find other cool pieces of lighting and whatnot too. So it's pretty cool. B exhibits similar characteristics too. So we'll take a look at that here in a moment. They also have this absolutely awesome, really cool underground walkway from the C gates to the B gates in Terminal 1. Here's what that looks like, and as you can tell, it's really cool. They'll have colors flashing all throughout and all that, so it's really sweet. So very cool to get to see it here during this day. And then you can see here is the Terminal 2 gate, so you can see kind of what an example of that looks like. Here's gate F5 with the CRJ loading up here, and you can see kind of what the seating area looks like. It's a little small on some of these, but granted, you know, obviously there's only so much space to work with, so that's kind of an example of what it can look like, but I think I have a couple more coming up. So that background's a little bit more of what you'll see traditionally, but here's all the United departures on this particular day. It was July 17th of 23, I believe is when this was, so you can see kind of what was going on, so it's pretty cool. And then this is a very distinctive part here as well. When you're leaving the C gates over there to go over to the B gates, you'll get this escalator right here, and it has this big window design where you see all the aircraft on the apron. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it looks really nice. And there are some windows around if you like the spot as well. I'll show you that United 753 where that was took. I'll kind of show you that here in a moment, so you can get a little bit better of an idea on that. Here's another shot of the C gates with the Jazz Food Court. Again, it's a very distinctive design, very unique to Chicago. You're not going to see it anywhere else, so very cool to get to see. And overall, I think it looks really, really cool. So yeah, definitely one of the coolest parts of O'Hare, hands down, but that's just the beginning for the unique parts of O'Hare for sure. This is just one picture that I had, but obviously looking at the floor, but the tile floor is pretty cool. So cool to get to see it right here, and overall it looks quite nice. And this is a really great shot. This might end up being the thumbnail, I'm not sure, but anyway, you can definitely see how nice Chicago O'Hare is right here. It looks really cool, so definitely awesome to get to see it right here. And overall, I think it looks really cool and very unique. Obviously, plenty of pizza advertisements and all of what Chicago is all about, so definitely very cool to get to see this right here. Here's what the B gates look like. Again, it's a very similar concept, however, it doesn't quite finish. So you can see on the right side it's similar, and then on the left it just comes straight down in some areas. So yeah, this is really neat to see right here. Very unique design, unlike what you're going to see anywhere else. I want to do more connecting on United in Chicago. It just doesn't happen very often because of where I'm situated, and obviously a bunch of point-to-point flights for United for my particular situation, but hopefully in the future I'll get to do more of it because it is really fun to see, you know, obviously all the different gates and whatnot. So I do need to spend more time going over to those gates, but when I'm so busy plane spotting, you can only do so much, right? So it happens. Here's what it looked like at the north end of the B gates. I was going out to Denver on a wide body, and you can see how busy it can get. So no doubt they have plenty going on right here for sure. And then we get into Terminal 3 with the American gates. So this is kind of the worst of it. I kind of put some of the worst shots at the front, but this kind of goes in line with kind of the progressive order. So these are those G gates, and as you can tell, enough seating. It's fairly distinctive too, but yeah, I kind of get some Dallas vibes as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. But tiled floor here, and you can see the roof is much lower, or ceiling rather. Yikes. The ceiling is much lower, so yeah, definitely quite a unique vibe. But this was a customer service line after several people misconnected off a CRJ 200, so looking quite nice. Here's another look at those G gates again, and it depends on the area. It's very unique. So again, really innovative is not the right word, but it's a very, you know, obviously I hate to use the word unique because I've used it so many times already, but it really is a unique design. So yeah, pretty cool. And overall, I think it's quite nice. I get a few Dallas vibes here and there with the American landscape all around, but again, the wayfinding's Chicago based, so it's all pretty cool. Here's the view from the Admiral's Club upstairs. So this is really cool between the K and H gates. So I highly recommend going up there if you ever get a chance. Fortunate that I've been able to check it out, and I'll have an updated Admiral's Club video coming out soon, so stay on the lookout for that one. Here's the very famous flag, or Hall of Flags, I think is the proper terminology, but obviously this connects the K and the H gates, so it is quite awesome, and it has all the countries that American, or I don't know if it's American or you can get to from Chicago, but anyways, it's pretty cool. I think it's all the countries that American flies to out of Chicago, so as you can tell, we have quite a few, like the Bahamas, Canada's on there, it looks like, let's see, Mexico's down there, so quite an awesome array of countries for sure, and this is one of the coolest highlights. So if you're ever in Chicago, this is definitely one of the coolest pieces to see, there's no doubt about it. But again, very unique. It looks kind of like Terminal 1 again, with that huge overpass design. Overpass isn't the right word, but you know, the curved design. So it's quite cool, and Chicago definitely has it down with regards to unique infrastructure at their airport. Here's the American Airlines departure board right here. You can definitely see how cool this looks, and again, various pieces to the puzzle here. You know, very similar to Dallas and obviously what they typically have. So yeah, cool to see it here on the various monitors. We got 6 of them in this particular case. Here's over here gate K19. This is probably my favorite gate at the airport. I've took the American Airlines 787 out of this gate 3 times, which is super fun. So yeah, this is always where it's left out of. Well, we left out K15 once, but anyway, we left out K19 several times. The flight typically comes in from Europe, usually London. So really cool gate. One of my favorites at the airport, wide body hybrid. It's an awesome gate over here. But anyway, the seating area can definitely get crowded really fast. So yeah, it's a very awesome place. And I filmed the 2024 July Gemini Jets release reaction video over here too. So it's one of my favorite places at the airport. It's not even close, and it's overall pretty cool. And British Airways parks here sometimes too. So a bunch of awesome pieces to the puzzle for this particular gate. And you can see over here, they have an awesome food court. This is when you turn to go over to the K gate. So they have a bunch of various pieces like this pizza place. They also have McDonald's back there and a couple other options as well. So great option, but obviously a bunch of people always going through. But yeah, it's definitely really cool to note, and overall it looks really sweet. So definitely glad that is in place right there. Here's where the Hall of Flags would normally be, but I think they had Christmas decorations. So awesome to see it here in the November timeframe, and overall it looks quite nice. So definitely really cool to get to note it from this perspective. And then here's more American Airlines destinations, so you can see all of what's going on here. So overall, it's looking quite nice, and no doubt plenty going on here at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Here's another one for good measure, because why not? You can find them all throughout the K, L, E gates, everywhere that you would want. So cool to get to see it right here. And then we have a beautiful American Airlines billboard. This is, I think, somewhere in the L gates, I'm pretty sure, but really cool with the Chicago skyline. I thought this was a wonderful shot. So very good job for them for having that up. That looks really cool. This is on the end of the L gates. This is my favorite terminal spotting location at the airport. It's right here at this window. This is a great corner to be able to see all of the taxiing traffic north to south, because if you don't know, the Chicago runways are east-west, so they're nicely lit in the winter if you can get a sunny day from the south side, which is not the terminal side. And then you obviously have the taxiways, which are north-south, so that's great in the afternoon from the Terminal 3 side, looking at that alleyway between 3 and 5. So that's one of my favorite windows. I love going there to spot. I don't have a great picture, but you can see what a United 175 looks like kind of taxiing by. But anyway, it's my favorite spots over there at the end of the L gates by L10, I believe. So it's quite an awesome place, and definitely recommend it if you're going spotting. Here's that layout of 3 again. Here's what the Stinger connection looks like. This is really good, but my favorite spot's right on this corner right here. It's right at that window right there. So it's pretty sweet, but the L extension gates are pretty cool. I don't know if I've been over there or not. I can't remember, to be completely honest, but anyway, it's still pretty cool to think about. And then there's the K and H gates once again, and then we got G as well. This is where the Hall of Flags is. So overall, it's really cool. And then they have this really cool Choose O'Hare bulletin of all these various pictures from Chicago O'Hare. I believe this is connecting the American and United gates, but as you can tell, it's pretty sweet. So definitely really cool to get to see this right here in a bunch of awesome captures at O'Hare Airport. Here is the L gate, speaking of which, so you can see how awesome these are. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool design, to be quite honest, with the metal and all that. So yeah, it's a very... it's okay. It's just a bunch of hodgepodge at O'Hare, I think is the right way to say it. So you can see we have tile floor in some places, and then we have the marble floor with metal roofs and curved roofs, and kind of a, you know, looks like a train station almost. So it's pretty neat. So you could really go for quite an array of various comparisons, but as you can tell, it looks really sweet right here. So awesome to get to see these L gates going strong, and overall it's looking quite nice. We're back to the G gates one more time for good measure, because why not? But again, it's quite an awesome hodgepodge of designs, so definitely want to highlight that, even with the glass for CRJ gates. Isn't that pretty cool? And they also have the downstairs gates for those G gates, so that's pretty cool, and I think it's a great use of resources. This is that spot I was talking about over there on the map. This is my favorite place. You got K1 right there with the CRJ, and then you have all these wide bodies typically. In this particular case, there's 3 of them, but I've seen as many as 5 lined up right there, so that's awesome. 4 737s, and you even have a little bit of the skyline. You got the moon in this particular picture too, and you also have the internationals. There's a British 380. You got the Turkish Aer Lingus lots. So crazy to think this picture was only a little over a year ago, and it's already outdated since British Airways doesn't park at there anymore with the 380. So pretty crazy, but it's a cool one as well. That was my CRJ 200 coming in from Appleton, going on Tulsa after Oshkosh of that year. So overall, really cool to see it. And then here's the United Airlines baggage claim for good measure. So that's looking quite nice. So I thought I'd feature a picture of that since I had one. And you can tell it's a little dated, but that's A-okay. There's the Hilton Hotel I was talking about previously, and this is the door for the arrival. So this is the regional bus section. There's obviously rideshare and other amenities that you can use down here. So this is really nice, arriving in for AI 2022 in that particular shot. There's a little bit higher res of the American Airlines logo. It's pretty cool. So definitely go catch it if you can. It's pretty sweet. And they also have a walkway between Terminal 3 and Terminal 1 underground, pre-security as well. So you can check this out too. and it's not quite as nice as the one from the B to the C gates, but it's also, you know, obviously not not after security. So it gets the job done. Just in case you messed up like I did, I meant to go to 1 and I accidentally went to 3. So, you know, it happens, but hey, we were able to recover from that one. Okay, so let's get into Terminal 5 here. So first and foremost, Aviation has done a really great video on the updated version and what's going on in there with the new gates. So definitely check out his video if you get a chance to, but you can see how awesome it looks here. Again, hodgepodge again. We're back to that marble floor, but now we have these weird creases in the ceiling, which is really cool. And again, this almost reminds me of the TWA hotel this time with that huge overhang piece, but it's pretty sweet. So overall, it looks really nice. And again, credit to AS Aviation. He's the Chicago O'Hare master with all of his content and what he knows about the facilities. So definitely check out his videos, but this is a really great one he made, I think a little over a year ago. And you can see here's what the new expansion looks like. It's some of the nicest infrastructure I've seen at an airport in 2024. So you can see here's the M gates for in 10 and 11. Again, Delta moved over here, so they park here. I think they used to park at 2. But anyway, we have Delta, and then you also have other airlines like, let's see here, Frontier, Southwest park here, and then every international carrier in the book. So again, check out his video. It's really good. Here's kind of some cool flags that they have in there too. Sorry that this is very pixelated. It's an older shot, but anyway, it looks pretty cool with all the flags. And I believe all these flags are where all the international carriers fly to. So obviously you got countries like Switzerland, Spain, and United Kingdom. They're all here. So they look really great. And then also Kenneth Burchell, I'm not exactly sure how it's said, but he's done some really good airport walkthrough videos, in particular concourses. Here's his version of Terminal 5, and it's really great. So definitely check out his video here. He did a really good job, but I'll kind of show you what he had going here. So again, it's that really cool curved design here by M12. So this is a really cool shot right here. So yeah, it's a really, again, hodgepodge. Now, I can't tell if that's carpet or what that is. I got some sun blasting on my monitor here. Can't tell what that floor is or if it's actually, you know, like, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but anyway, you can tell you got that going along with obviously the lights up there on top. So yeah, it looks quite cool. Very unique design once again, quite a hodgepodge of all what's going on. The window placement in these facilities has been very unique too. So definitely want to note that as well. But yeah, there are some dated parts. You can see the seating here. This video was from, I think, 2019. So this could have been updated since. But anyway, you can definitely see that it's still quite nice and definitely enough room to get it done. You know, plenty of seating and definitely getting the job done here. So looking quite nice here by the M1 and 2. Actually, this might be an old shot considering that it says 1 and 2 on there. I might be wrong. Anyway, though, it's definitely great to see where the airports come from and where it's going to. So no doubt, very exciting times right there. So that is Chicago O'Hare International Airport. I really hope all of you enjoyed this video. It is quite an awesome airport, and I'm glad that I was able to use so many great pictures and show what this airport's truly all about, and it's really cool. There's the beautiful 757. It's by gate B716. There's a really good window there. So there's a bunch of great places to spot at the airport, and truly it is an awesome airport. I highly recommend connecting through here if you ever get a chance. Definitely allow yourself plenty of time, though. It is a really spread out airport, especially if you're connecting on American. You can go all the way from the G gates to the L gates pretty quickly, and that's definitely not any time to sneeze at. It's going to take, you know, it could take up to 45 minutes with beating the crowds and all that to get off your first plane and get over to the next gate. So definitely allow yourself plenty of time. I've misconnected here once, so it does happen. So, you know, obviously that was off the delay. It wasn't really on my behalf that it was a misconnect. It just kind of happens, but I have had tight connections here. So definitely do not play around. Get to where you're going and it will all work out. But there's a bunch of really great Chicago content to come, so I hope you're excited for it, particularly the United Club video. That's going to be super exciting to continue our airline lounge assessment, so looking forward to that. And we'll also have more plane spotting at O'Hare Airport, so I highly recommend it. They also have that really cool train yard down there on the south side as well. So it's a great airport. I really hope all of you enjoyed this. I was super happy with how this all turned out. It's a really cool airport. And let me know in the comments what you're thinking and what you think the future of O'Hare would look like. I'll definitely make a new video in the future when we get that expansion complete. But for now, this is Chicago O'Hare International Airport. So with all that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.